good setup to play around it, utilizing the Tahm Kench. H2K are actually going to allow the junglers through for Vitality this time.
Yeah, interesting strategy. See if Joko on something more comfortable will be able to step up. But it's still been jungle bans on the Vitality side. The Zac and the Elise follow through, and now the H2K bans the Kennen.
Kennen off the board. Zac, Elise gone, as you said. Vitality, I mean, they have to right now, as we were talking about ban the same things on red side. That's why H2K are very confident on blue side. So that leaves Xayah available, as does most of the jungle pool remain available this game. Of course, now Graves, Kha'Zix, Gragas are available. Odoamne always hovers, Rammus and Maokai.
Yeah, it's an okay hover, come on.
Oh, and the Shen is up. We haven't actually talked about that one. That was actually banned in Phase 2 by H2K in the previous game. And much like the Unicorns, H2K opting for this Shen early on.
We'll see what kind of plans they have for it. Maybe this is the makings of the protection comp, but they will have a hell of a wall to go through if that Galio is first picked up by Vitality. Will that be locked in? It is.
Can, of course, flex into the middle lane. It's okay to play Galio into Shen and Shen into Galio. It's kind of just not about the lane at all at that point.
You pretty much just kind of check back in every time. Is he still farming? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Kaelin's picked up by Vitality, so Steelback's got his hands on that once more.
May see the Twitch pick up here out of H2K if they feel comfortable with Nuclear's ability to play that. It can be difficult in the laning phase into the Caitlyn, but Twitch comes online way earlier on in the game, utilizing the spray and pray and that in team fights, plus the Shen shield makes him very difficult to deal with. But I'm saying that, nope, that's not what's happening this game.
All right, it's the Ashe locked in, and H2K just going to opt in for the mid lane Lucian, not swappable, or will be something a little bit different. They still got some time on the board.
Ashe into Caitlyn is a fine matchup, also gives H2K the ability to engage. Tahm Kench is up if H2K want to take it for themselves, but the jungle matchup is more important in their mind. They basically now forced Joko to pick his jungler here. Lee Sin would be the obvious choice. The rest of his junglers have been... No, actually, Kha'Zix and Graves are available.
Yeah, it's been... Joko's kind of had a little bit of a different champion pool, but I guess he feels confident enough to take up the Warwick once again. So this is interesting as we enter the second ban phase.
Well, Warwick with Galio makes sense. Of course, the Kha'Zix wasn't up. It had been picked by H2K in the previous
Graves was up, though, that's for sure.
And I think I prefer the Warwick paired with the Galio, the Caitlyn. This music's really weird.
There's a lot of tension right now. Like, it's like 90% the music.
It's kind of like a tech noir game that we're playing right now.
Yeah, seriously. All right, I mean, we talked about Warwick pairing up with this Galio. Like, what do you think Vitality are going to round their composition out with, if you had to say right now?
Vitality rounding out probably an Orianna, if it's available, for Nuke Duck. Just to give some sense of, like, teamfight. It may very well be this Galio in the middle lane. Zyra banned out. Tahm Kench is available. Where do they go? No, it's not available anymore.
I remember what happened last time, and honestly, it's a good move.
Yeah. Braum, but you probably don't want to first pick it. It is okay, but if you end up playing it against some of the ranged matchups, it can be kind of difficult.
All right, well, H2K, they're on their last ban right now. What are they going to get rid of? It was already the Rumble taken off the board just in the event that Galio ends up going mid, and now they ban out Kassadin. But they've left up Cinder, they've left up LeBlanc for Nuke Duck.
Just wanting to take out one of those scaling mid laners to set up the side lane presence, because of course Galio does push Shen back quite a considerable amount. Now it's on Vitality. Gragas would go up to the top lane, signaling that it would be Nuke Duck on Galio, so there's not a whole lot of damage coming from the lineup of Vitality outside of Steelback.
That's a big front line. Well, we know Steelback's damage numbers don't always pan out. This game, it might be different, by necessity.
Maybe different. Looking at what you compare with the Ashe at this point, the Braum would be one option. We talked about how you probably don't want to play it into a lot of range matchups. It is okay at this point with the Ashe. There aren't too many picks to punish. And we've seen Nuclear and Che play a very defensive style. This is going to be more about outside of the laning phase.
Yeah, seems like H2K's comp's definitely going to be built for that. Now, as the seconds tick by, they've got one more pick to lock in. It will be the mid lane. Where is Febiven going to go? Is he going to go all in to do the damage, to get the assassinations? Oh, for just a second, he was playing with the hearts, but no, it will be the LeBlanc.
Yeah, LeBlanc, of course, will be able to roam quite early. Not as effectively as the Galio. You'll have that early game presence. And we've seen the European Galios not exactly be able to hold their own in the laning phase either. A lot of the time over in LCK, at least, you see Galio do a little bit better than Europe have been doing out of the middle lane with it. So I want to see a little bit more emphasis. This is a Gragas or Galio support.
Okay, so we get the Swippy swap right around at the end. The Rise comes in to the mid. And we're going to see where the Gragas and the Galio are going to go. I think the Galio bot does make the most sense.
Yeah, Galio bot makes more sense here. We obviously have seen both champions be in that support role, but Galio more recently. Galio Caitlyn will have a decent amount of push, and of course you have the taunt, a lot of crowd control coming out, then the protection for Caitlyn as well as the game goes longer. Unorthodox composition outside of Vitality.
Very much, but you know, maybe this is coming from the amount of brain trust right about now, and I should have said something was up because it just didn't seem to click. Nuke Duck and Galio. It's not really the style.
Neither is Nuke Duck and Rise recently.
Recently. So the caveat there.
I feel like Nuke Duck being put in a tough matchup here. This is like the second game of Rise we've seen near globally, at least in the LCK, NA LCS, and EU LCS. When you look at the champions played, Rise is only now seeing his second game.
Very, very unusual pick and ban phase from Vitality. Will it be enough to bamboozle the likes of H2K and get them a victory in game number 2? We're about to find out, but H2K looking strong for themselves in the pick and ban, trying to close this series out on a 2-0. After a disappointing end last week to the Unicorns of Love, will they add one more notch to their belts before cross-group play begins? Let's see how it all unfolds. On to Summoner's Rift we go.
Christmas time on Summoner's Rift for Che.
I think he always does that when he plays Braum.
Yeah.
It's always Christmas if you're Che.
We've been talking about skins a lot recently.
We got some new ones in the pipe.
Pugmore is the one that is really the polarizing one. I think we should change it to like Dogmore.
That's what I was saying.
Great. Different breeds as a chroma.
Yeah.
For the record, completely no insight. That's just me saying it'd be cool, mainly because I'd want to play with like something like a husky.
Yeah, not everyone likes a pug, right?
Yeah.
And you can keep the animations because all dogs love tennis balls. But not in this game.
Anyway, yeah, not in this game.
A different dog. Joko's on the Warwick. Maybe give him a skin like that.
I don't think...
You wouldn't pet Warwick?
A little bit dangerous.
Just gotta give him a bone first.
And Joko, at this point, we'll see if he can get the early game lead like he did in the previous game. Kind of came from a solo kill in the mid lane and then a play onto top side from Vitality.
A little harder to do up against the Shen. See if he's able to do it again.
Yeah, it's a little harder to do because Shen can fight back a little better and defend himself a touch better than Fiora in the previous game. But I feel like Kabashad and Joko might be able to do enough. You can see, though, that H2K already put a ward down to scout out Joko. And Joko responds to make sure that H2K aren't making a play onto his red buff to start this game. But
oh, boy.
Nuke Duck,
out of the bushes, Nuke Duck is finding out the hard way. You can't face check into that jungle. First blood for Febivin.
Oh, that's a rough one. That you give the LeBlanc first blood here. Means Febivin may even just push this wave out and maybe recall and teleport back into lane. Febivin did miss his CS, though, which... there's always something as a caveat on this one.
Yeah, that's not enough to get an S. A+. Sad days for Febivin.
We're actually just watching him farm in the middle lane. Doesn't want to push the lane too heavily. Doesn't want to allow Nuke Duck to catch up. Of course, Febivin wants to play the zoning game here, get level 2, and deny Nuke Duck's ability to get into the lane. Rise will still struggle somewhat in the early laning phase.
Oh, yeah. Now, Vander moving his way into the jungle to throw some wards down. They want to keep an eye on Jankos. Just as before, we saw the same thing last game, but we really got to keep an eye on this mid lane because this could easily slide into a huge deficit for Nuke Duck if it continues as it's still level 1.
And note that Febivin isn't going over aggressive because they don't quite have the vision on Joko. They haven't seen where he is, and that's why Jankos is now going aggressively in towards the Raptors. They want to see if Joko is playing a farming game. The Hawk shot crosses through as well, so now they know exactly where the Warwick is. It's the reason why Febivin didn't go aggressive when the chain's locked. It was all just about the damage.
Oh, Joko did not see Jankos. The red buff could be his undoing. It's going to be a little rough if Jankos sticks around enough for the kill, but you can see where Nuke Duck is. Throws down some vision. However, it's not as safe as it might appear.
So Jankos knows that he's on the red buff, but obviously doesn't have full vision.
Okay, let's see how that one goes right now. Febiven and Nukeduck continue to face off against each other, but it's actually Febiven who's faring worse right now. Hold on a second. Yeah.
He's holding on, don't worry. Well, looks like Jankos, didn't steal the red buff away from Joko.
That was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, a lot of action up in the top side of the jungle for not a whole lot of reward.
Teleport back to mid lane here for Febiven. Jankos is still trying to honestly keep Joko down, but he's the one who's down the level right now. Odo does sink a taunt into Cabo Shard, but on Gragas, he's got the health pool to really keep himself in it. Here we go. Odo, he's going to get pushed back. This is 2v2. Joko a little bit low on the health himself, but for the time being, that's all they need.
And now you're going to see the effect in the mid lane of that first blood. Febiven got the recall off, teleported back in, has now a full corrupting potion once again, and there are no potions on the side of Nukeduck. So every single time Febiven can get a little bit extra damage in these trades, it means that Febiven will deny MCS, Nukeduck will have to back himself away, and has to recall at some point in the next minute or so, maybe 2 minutes, otherwise he's going to get solo killed.
Yeah, might end up needing some help out of Joko once he hits that level 6 mark, as Febiven is pushed up, but it's going to be a little difficult to get there when he's getting all his camp stolen away, and honestly, Jankos, it seemed like he was having a little further trouble against Joko last game, but now the tables are definitely turning.
Vander heading towards mid lane on this Galio. They know if Febiven plays into the lane, they might be able to get him.
Shielded Durand, gets the taunt off. Nukeduck a little low though. However, Vander, he goes, tries to get the punch off, interrupted, rooted down, and not enough damage to finish the job by either party.
But it does mean that Vitality still come out on the losing end of that trade. Looked like for a moment Febiven could have been in trouble, but the fact that Jankos is able to compensate and come across to the mid lane as well means that Vitality hang on with only that 1 kill deficit so far.
Yeah, both junglers hanging around. You can see how they did last game, but now both want to be in the lane with
Wolf's
Febiven.
on a leash.
Oh boy, and in comes Jankos, try and splats him. Here he goes as he flashes forward and tastes his fear.
May not be first blood, but Jankos is proving he's the king of the jungle in this series so far, as Joko had to flash out, couldn't keep himself alive. Joko hasn't actually got a jungle minion since the Krug he took in front of Jankos, and it means that Joko is in a pretty tough situation himself now. A kill on the Kha'Zix, a kill on the LeBlanc, 2 assassins already ahead in this matchup, and it's just getting better and better for H2K.
Yeah, it's like H2K just said, oh, hold on, Vitality, let me show you how to play early game. Get ourselves ahead to start this off. It's a 1,400 gold lead as Odoamne continues to sink those taunts in. Cabo Shard is able to duel him, but for how long is he going to be able to keep that one up? You see H2K starting to march forward.
Odoamne has that Tiamat completed. We'll give him a little extra trading power, extra pushing power on top of it, but Cabo Shard should be okay. Just, roll the Q out the barrel, make sure that they can clear the way from underneath Odoamne. Really, Odoamne is not going to give him too much trouble, unlike the mid lane.
Oh, yeah, and Febiven is never going to be alone. However, it's Odoamne's ult getting interrupted, and Febiven might have bit off more than he could chew here. Flashing forward, and Nukeduck with the outplay.
Oh, Febiven maybe didn't quite have the Q available for himself, and Nukeduck manages to get the kill, despite Febiven flashing back under the tower. Second game in a row, Nukeduck in a laning trade. This time you can't really call it a 1v1, but Nukeduck, despite getting first blooded, ends up killing Febiven again.
Yeah, Febiven trusted that he'd be able to get some help from Odoamne, but it was not to be, with the big barrel interrupting. Ult for ult traded in the top lane to make sure that the kill is secured in the mid. And here it is one more time.
So this is the trade onto mid lane. Febiven goes in, gets rooted in the minions. Look at how many minions were available there. And it was still 3 seconds before Febiven's Q was up. So even though you can see the passive locks underneath Nukeduck would have been enough for the kill, wasn't in time. Febiven misreading another trade in the laning phase.
Get to be a very spicy mid lane matchup as this game goes on. 2-1 in kills. H2K still maintaining that gold advantage, but it is not huge at the moment. Just 1,000. Febiven picking up the blue buff over on the other side of the map. There is an Infernal Drake on the map, so you'd think that this would be a pretty tasty objective, but Jankos has had other business for the time being.
Yeah, Jankos trying to just secure some vision bottom side, just in case they want to try and make a play, utilizing the Ash Arrow onto this Caitlyn.
Joko spotted here as he tries to ward down on the blue buff, which means both mid laners are going to be coming for it. Nukeduck finds Febiven. Nukeduck's clone, or Febiven's clone, finds Joko.
Attack of the clones.
Well, it is episode 2 of this series.
Well, if this was episode 2, nothing would happen, and we'd just be in episode 3, and you didn't really.
But it'd be
anything.
okay because then we don't have to see Jar Jar Binks much anymore.
Very true.
Would that be
Mid
in
lane.
this series? I don't know. All right, Jankos jumping in onto Nuke Duck. Vander coming in with the shield, and Nuke Duck pulls a magic trick out of his hat.
Did Nuke Duck get rooted as he arrived? That looked a little funky.
He's got enough time for a bit of light reading. Nicely played.
As Nuke Duck appears in the portal, is able to get away, and Febiven once again not quite able to capitalize on this lead. He's going to get very frustrated by this.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and the tables are kind of turned in terms of
Yeah.
effectiveness, right? Because Nuke Duck's on this rise who's going to just be a monster as the game goes on. And Febiven has a window that is very slowly going to close.
there's Nuclear in the bottom lane.
We haven't really talked about this bot lane matchup. It's been pretty quiet. A farm advantage Nuclear's way, but there hasn't really been much to it. Honestly, Vander's been making the most moves out of all of the dual laners because he's been visiting mid lane.
Yeah, and he's now got his ultimate available as well, despite roaming out. Chase still hasn't hit level 6 himself. Now, that does mean Nuclear has got a bit of a level advantage on Steelback, but that's not a whole lot of emphasis on having the AD carry 1 level up for a little while. Now they're even.
Yeah.
So you can see that Chase still hurting a bit on that experience factor.
Just for now. Let's see. Heroic Entrance could make the difference in a big fight, but without some of the items to back it up, that Galio won't be quite as tanky, as quite as big as he could be. Now, let's see, H2K wants to make a move towards the bottom side of the map, but you could see that Febiven was spotted on the ward.
Yeah, Vitality saw this happening, so it means that H2K have been red. Nuke Duck wants to trade again.
All right. Nothing comes of it. It is a 1 level difference. Now, Cabochard even wants to join. This is a slow setup in the mid.
Everybody, look at where Vander is as well. Vander's trying to get there. Ace in the hole gets used by Vitality. They're trying to get the numbers advantage, but each team can't quite find an opening to go aggressive, and it means that H2K will back themselves away. Maybe look for this Infernal Drake.
Slow and steady, but they will move on towards the Dragon, and it is only going to be Jankos doing it right now. There's an opportunity for Vitality to come in and take it away, but he's already down to half the health bar, and now with Che and Nuclear in the front, nothing doing. No chance for Vitality to get in and try to take it after that.
Yeah, it's just too quick for Kha'Zix to take down a Drake like the Infernal Drake.
It's one of the reasons you pick him, right? I mean, he's able to do that.
Yep.
Better than a lot of other junglers.
Joker didn't even have a smite available, so even if he had been able to get in range for Infinite Duress, wouldn't have really been enough of a factor. He's only just got it now, and he'll likely use it. So no chance of any kind of steal. H2K get themselves Infernal Drake. Still have 1,300 gold in the lead. A lot of that comes from farm in the bottom lane. And that extra kill that they have that Jankos picked up earlier on.
But Vitality need to start finding some answers because they're just letting themselves slowly lose out on objectives, slowly lose out in the gold game. And yeah, they've been able to make a couple of flashy plays, and Nuke Duck got, you know, a solo kill or close enough to a solo kill out onto Febiven, but you need more than that, right? I mean, it's a laning phase. They got a little bit of late game with that rise, but you said to yourself, the damage apart from that, apart from the Caitlyn, it's not going to be enough right now. So they really need either to just go full-on late game and build themselves up a, you know, at least an even amount of gold to get there, or H2K is just going to slowly roll over them.
So at this point in the game, this is where everybody recently on the broadcast team has been revealing what TV show or movie they haven't watched.
All right. Well, you already said
What is it for you?
Oh,
no,
for me?
not me.
Okay,
You don't,
right.
don't push me around on this.
All right, well, we got time, right? As Febiven
Oh,
chunks
actually,
down Nuke Duck.
hang
I will
on.
get back to
They're
you.
trying to trade.
I will get back to that in a moment because the Ash Arrow's
we're
coming
following
flying.
it. Oh, it hits!
The
Oh,
insta-cleanse.
the cleanse.
That's what you take it for. All right. Still, Nuclear, an excellent marksman.
Don't think you're getting out of this, Pyra.
I'm thinking. I mean, there's a lot I haven't seen.
I'll give you time.
There's actually a lot I haven't seen.
That's,
You know what's I really want to watch but never have?
What's that?
Broadchurch.
Ooh, that's really good. Although sad. That's not like not everybody's seen it either. So we can't
I'll
really
watch
stick
anything
around
with
on
David
this.
Tennant in it. So.
That's fair. But Febiven at this point, see, that's not really an embarrassing one.
All right.
It's not something everybody's seen. Anyway, bottom lane, there is...
Okay, Vander getting knocked up and steal back to boot right now as Che goes unbreakable to try and block the line. Nuclear's got a lot more arrows than Steelback can fire shots, and Jankos is looking to come down to the bottom to clean up. Let's see if he's able to do it. Vander knows.
Oh, Chenault
And they're
is
going to
up.
bring Otawamne. In comes the Hero's Entrance right on top of where he was. They get the knock-up. In goes Joko, and the fight's gone hectic. But Jankos picks up Vander. Big barrel comes out from Cabochard to try and knock and bop them all away. but it is one kill picked up, and Odawamne might be left for dead here.
For Nuktuk.
Joko, it's Cabochard going to be able to do it 1-for-1.
Vitality on the back end of that trade actually managed to even the score, and it looked to be a good setup from H2K, utilizing the Shen ultimate, but everybody was just a little too low by the time Cabochard had actually arrived. And Cabo comes in, assists, well, picks up the kill for himself, and you can see that this Shen first pick for H2K, while it is good, while it's strong, doesn't necessarily destroy Cabochard in the top lane like the Fiora did in the previous game. And this is how the whole fight was set up. Braum passive goes on onto Vander. They're like, okay, maybe we can get the kill on the Galio, but it takes a long time. That damage reduction that comes through is difficult to deal with. And then it was Jankos in from the side. The play took a whole lot of time, and a bit of deja vu in the bottom left side of your screen as H2K were looking for the play again, but it doesn't really pan out too much more than just a kill for either team. Steelback is safe under the tower. There was a teleport cancelled out from Febiven, and Odawamne just left on his own by H2K to die for Vitality.
And not much you could do there. The barrel really started to help get the ball rolling, and now it looks like we're in for a trade of towers, but H2K should be able to secure the first one. It's a late first tower blood, in all honesty, as H2K will get it, extending that gold lead up, but now Nukeduck is stopped up underneath his tower. Febiven sends the chains out once again, but this time they miss, and in comes Joko. Febi is going to have to flash it, and now Yanko's body blocking on the return from the Infinite Duress, which is just about to come off cooldown.
Yeah, it's Joko again. Oh, hang on, Ash Arrow comes.
All right, one more time. Is it going to land? Oh, Nukeduck saw it go right behind him, and now he takes the edge of the portal. Once again, back to safety.
It did hit Joko. The arrow hit Joko, but nobody could actually connect on it. So, you know, accuracy is a win for Nuclear, but H2K, they did lose their top tower in that exchange. Eventually, Joko lining it up.
The wings gets the Infinite Duress off onto Jankos. However, stops up by Che, and now Joko is able to say, that's just fine, I'll kill you too.
This H2K attempt hasn't been as clean as in game one. H2K are trading kind of ineffectively. Still the same gold lead that there has been all the way through, but now Vitality have an opening maybe towards getting vision control on top side for Rift Herald. They've already got the enemy tower. That could be a play that they could make in the next couple of minutes before it despawns and Baron appears.
Vitality have been given some openings to work with, and you can see they are able to punish, at least on an individual basis. We saw it in game one. We've seen it in a lot of their games, even if it's not netted them wins very often. But individual performance, when it comes down to making those catches, has really worked out for them.
Yeah, it has, and that's one of the areas that we're going to have to come to expect them to build upon. But honestly, for Vitality, I just feel like they're not good at converting their leads into overall objective wins. Like, this is a great defensive win for Vitality here because H2K just play right into their hands, but they don't really get anything else from it, is the biggest problem.
Yeah, let's see if they can at least translate that into a little bit more control on the map. Now, Vander does place a ward right around the backside of the Dragon Pit. It is another Infernal, and they're making moves en masse to try and finish this off, but it's going to be spotted out by H2K. Can Jankos get in for the steal? Does not have the sight on it, but he'll go over the wall all the same, can't secure it. And now he gets bopped up by the barrel, forced to flash away, and Steelback trying to kite from Febiven as Che is right in the thick of it. In comes Odawamne onto the taunt, finishes the kill. Hero's entrance just comes a smidgen too late, and Odawamne and the rest of H2K are looking to clean up.
Well, that actually ended up being better. Nukeduck, I thought perhaps he'd taken his teammates into unfamiliar territory, but he actually manages to get them out there. Vander and Nukeduck will be able to recall out. Joko.
Not so lucky.
Yeah. It's not going to be able to get the execute, but that all started from Vitality trying to rush down the Dragon. It was actually Nukeduck that ended up picking it up.
Okay, well, that's all happening. H2K are going to go ahead and finish off the final turret in the mid, or the turret in the mid, I should say, as Jankos gets himself a third kill of the game. King of the jungle, indeed. All right. Oh, hello. Nice bop in there. They're going to combo right on top of Nuclear to get the kill off, and Febiven, he could be in trouble as well. Nuclear does take out Cabochard in the scuffle, though, so at least he trades 1-for-1.
Yeah, H2K have been playing very aggressively into this middle lane, trying to break the tower without making any sort of Rift Herald play.
Not expecting that.
Oh, hang on, Jankos is there in the middle lane as well. We're going to take a look back at this Dragon fight. Looking at the live preview that I have, at least there's no fight going on in the mid lane. And somehow Nukeduck was the one that got that. Jankos did smite.
Rise does damage, man.
Yeah, Rise does do damage, but Joko didn't actually smite himself, so that's a little fortunate for Vitality. And then at that point, Nukeduck manages to get the portal out. Another fight where Steelback without summoners, or at least without the flash, is kind of in a very precarious spot and gets picked off by H2K, and then at this point, this is the H2K overstaying in the mid lane. One-for-one trade, couldn't quite get the tower from it, still haven't got it as we go back to the live picture.
All right, so it has been a lot of focus on the mid lane for H2K, but at least Vitality have been able to find some kills back for themselves. We're getting closer and closer to that 20-minute mark, and it still seems to be the slow and steady with some uncertainty, a little wobbles, a few moves that are a little questionable from H2K from time to time, but they maintain that gold lead.
And that'll give Vitality the ability to maybe to build back into this game. They do obviously have a Caitlyn, which is always a good late game insurance policy.
Not to mention the Rise.
And this game, there isn't quite so much scaling on H2K. Ashe is okay. Shen and LeBlanc, not for damage necessarily in the late game, would be relying on. So they need to win a couple of fights here.
Well, they're starting off on one, peel away from the Rift Herald in the final seconds, ticking down from him, and Vander's the one who's going to get popped by Febivin. Now Nukeduck caught up in the action. It's a three-man bop from Cabochard, but way too late as Jankos gets jumped on by Joko in the back. Shay looking to be fired down as well, but all of a sudden, his teammates are all gone, and Joko finds out the hard way that sometimes you got to defend those carries. This is a 4-for-1 trade.
H2K say, don't worry about the Rift Herald, we'll peel back away from it, take the advantageous fight. Again, they go aggressive, land the Ashe arrow this time, and are able to go right through mid-tower. Anyway, Steelback was standing under the mid-inner. He may get fallen.
Not quite up. It looked like the chains didn't connect. He was being body blocked by the minions, but Febivin still took a nice bite out of his health bar, and H2K finally take down the mid-tower, and they get another one on top of it. See what happens when you don't fight under the tower. You get it after.
Yeah. H2K able to pick up 2 towers themselves.
You don't always need your eyes literally on the prize. Let's see this fight again.
Yeah, this was the fight that H2K ended up getting. Nuclear, you can see, catches out Vander. Nukeduck gets slowed down by it. Shay manages to block the Rise ultimate from completing. And that means Nukeduck falls very quickly after. Cabochard has good damage, but it just wasn't quite enough. And then look, Nuclear realizes Joko's not actually going to do anything to him after the ultimate is down, so turns back onto the Warwick as the last focus in the fight.
Back to the main screen right now. It's Nukeduck being fired down by Otoamne, but Vander has joined on in. Shield up Duran to get the taunt off, but Jankos is unperturbed as he goes in to taste the fear of the Rise. Does he have the finisher? Oh, he's actually gotten second thoughts about this one as Vander and Steelback come back around for him, and now Jankos is in a pickle. But he's got Shen at his back. Otoamne coming in, stand united as Nukeduck tries to turn back around. The fights just don't seem to be stopping right about now as Joko nearly gets Jankos. However, it's going to be Febivin that finishes the job onto Cabochard, and Steelback all caught out by himself. Febivin looking to go in to get a few more picks. And it's all H2K.
Yeah, H2K once again winning the fight. They've just got so many kills recently. 3, 1, and 6 on both mid and AD carry right now for H2K. And honestly, right now, it's so difficult because Steelback in the previous fight only did like 800 damage, which at this point isn't a whole lot of damage, and Caitlyn will get more damage. So this time he's like, I'm going to stick around in the fight longer. I'm just going to get auto attacks down. I'm going to stay there. I'm going to deal damage. Unfortunately, there's like a Shen blocking all of these autos. There's a Braum blocking them. There's so much resistance. And Steelback sticks around long enough for the Ashe arrow to hit him, and he can't get away. Vitality just don't seem to be able to either keep him alive or have him do damage in fights, and it's going one of two ways, and neither of them are successful.
I mean, the front line's been there. Cabochard has been getting the CC and the damage out. And here's the problem with the support Galio, though. He comes in, he does that.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, but Jankos just hops the wall.
Right, okay, Jankos hops the wall, but at this point, like, Vitality are already so far behind that it's not necessarily the support Galio.
I was thinking this was a different replay where he dies, and I was going to be like, yeah. But yeah, that was actually not so bad.
Yeah, it was okay. You get the damage reduction going on. Cabochard ends up dying eventually.
And back to live. Okay, Nukeduck, he's going to get stopped up. CC chain for days as Nuclear fires the arrows with the Fury of the North. Taking out one, taking out two, getting himself a third. The triple as he just stops for a farm looking for more kills. Vander now under fire, and he is going nowhere, and Jankos steals that kill away.
It was never going to be a penta because Cabo's on the top side. Imagine if that had hit the cross-map arrow for the penta.
I'll get that one too, okay.
Not even available, but
Doesn't
H2K
matter.
in full control. 50 CS up for Nuclear in the AD carry role. H2K winning every other lane. nearly 10,000 gold for themselves. After the Baron, it should just about tick over into that 5-digit lead.
All right, well, Febiven's playing around with Cobble Shard up on the top. The barrel knocks him sideways out of tower range. It doesn't matter, though. It's all distraction while the Baron's going down. It's smited away, and Febiven even just tanks up a tower shot. Doesn't need to care as they finally will able to finish off this tower up top. 23.5 minutes into the game, they're opening up a massive lead on Vitality.
Yeah, this is going to turn into an astronomical lead because before the Baron, they already had a significant advantage, and now there's a couple of towers they can pick up easily. So how did this fight start? We were in the replay when it actually kicked off. Steelback moving forward. Oh, it was Vitality trying to portal in. It was a nice play. Like, let's look at that setup. If you are ahead with this Galio, with the ability to set up a play like that, maybe not under a tower, with the thinking of the portal into the taunt. Nice setup, but horribly backfires when you're nearly 10,000 gold down and you're trying it under a tower against an Ashe that has an arrow available.
Yeah, it was also really impressive with between Che and Nuclear how well Nuclear was able to sidestep shots, get right around to the tower, kite around, while Che threw down the instant Glacial Fissure.
Yeah,
meant that they really couldn't get a whole lot done.
Realistically, there's not a whole lot ways back into this game for H2K. They try for Vitality. H2K having a full advantage. They have themselves a banner of command. For Che, they're going to try again. Same play, is it?
All right, let's see if they can do it. Anything. It looks like the answer is no. Before Vander even hits the ground, Nuke Duck is dropped 6 feet under it, and Vander is going to have no friends there. Another double kill coming out for Nuclear, and this is going to be an arrow. Is still up.
Where is it?
25
this
minutes.
Is like
they want to finish this game. All right, well, Nuclear has definitely stood out, but the rest of the team is doing great. That arrow's flashed at the last second, but it is going to be way too late to get the flash back on this game. It looks like H2K is easily going to be able to clean up, although Febiven does fall at the back. That's a big shutdown going over to Joko, but is there any more damage left in the tank? Last Nexus turret's going down, and all they have to do is turn and kill the Nexus. Jankos, Kabushard, he's got some damage as well, but they just keep on turning for it. It's a hectic finish, but right at the end, H2K have done it to close out the series.
They killed the Nexus, they killed the champions beside it. H2K with a huge lead to close that one out. 8-1-9 on the game from Nuclear, and some fantastic arrows.
I wanted to say, does that completely negate the massive deficit they had during spring? Is that a bigger win for them? I don't even know, but H2K showed up huge in that second game.
Yeah, and you look at it, it may have been a slow start to both games. Vitality looking strong in game number 1 to start it out, getting the first blood, getting first tower, I believe, in both games, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to close out. H2K able to back-to-back turn fights in their favor. You can see hug between Jankos and Vander. It was all in good fun.
Yeah. Well, he didn't camp the bot lane, so, you know, gave him the benefit of that one. But it didn't matter. It was all about H2K building up those leads and breaking out, taking down Vitality 2 times in a row, but a very different couple of games.
Vander's like telling them next time. Next time, Gadget, next time.
I have seen Inspector Gadget, by the way. So that's
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be go Gadget, like tablet to watch it right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That would have been the easier joke.
Yeah, that's okay. No, it's all good. It's all good. Maybe I just watch a lot more TV than all of you guys.
I don't even know where that came from.
Clearly, I haven't missed too much. But for H2K, they didn't miss a beat.
No. They didn't.
Well played for them. I mean, it's so rough when you lose out against Unicorns in a long series, but they looked like nothing had phased them. They had a long time to think about their plan of attack against Vitality, and honestly, they didn't seem to break a sweat.
No, they didn't. I think there's a couple of areas that H2K themselves will be a little disappointed at. Individual errors in the laning phase that are uncharacteristic for the lineup. I think that's what they'll kind of take as the hardest part of this game.
Nuke Duck had some pretty solid outplays a couple of times.
Yeah, he did. And Nuke Duck, once again, kind of showing up at certain times, but it doesn't seem to be a reliable baseline for Vitality. But let's not forget, Vitality did secure a win in a series earlier this week. They have secured a position above Mysterious Monkeys. But I think the criticism goes on just how these players have performed in previous splits and how it's just not coming together for Vitality right now. And a team like H2K is just too tough an opponent right now. H2K are fighting for the top of the group. Vitality, the only people they were able to take down in the first round robin of the groups, was only just the Mysterious Monkeys. Yeah,
there's definitely still some growth we're going to have to see out of this Vitality team if they want to even make a chance at playoffs, because it seems like the expectations just get a little bit lower every split. Rosters change. It's not always the same. but you can hear him on the other side. H2K, I mean, honestly, a well-earned victory for them.
Didn't quite catch it.
Nah. But that's a fun fact. I get to do that when they play well, so probably approves.
That's a good thing to know. Do they also get the chicken nuggets after they play well?
You know, I think that happens regardless, but I might have to go back and ask Yankos about that one. But another player who honestly was a winner chicken dinner, and this one was Nuclear, because he's our player of the series. I mean, it's kind of easy to tell after that last game, but he was throwing shots out left and right.
Yeah, really good performance out of Nuclear. Played Xayah in the first game. Most of his kills, however, came as his Ashe game in game 2, and so many of the engages going his way, managing to connect with the arrow, the Xayah game getting multiple stuns throughout team fights. I think we saw Chase show up in week 1, now we've seen Nuclear show up in week 3. I think that's a great sign for H2K.
Yeah, I mean, it's shoring up what on paper coming into the split, coming even into the year, Nuclear Che were two names that you would think would mesh well together, and it took a little bit of time, and then they did, and it was fantastic.
But then we saw the horrendous playoff performance.
That's true. It's I kind of like blocked that one out of my memory, to be honest.
That's like the most important H2K week.
You got to step up, right?
Spring, because that was just a shock loss. And remember now, teams in the summer split fighting to get their way towards Worlds. H2K, they were last year's semi-finalists. Let's not forget that H2K, if they don't at least make it to Worlds, I think they'll be very unhappy with that. But they are looking like they're building their way back towards that, looking for that summer split set of points to maybe try and get there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's still a long split ahead. We're only 3 weeks in to the European LCS, and I think cross-group play is honestly really going to reveal a whole lot of stuff, because we saw a lot of the teams going in for long 3-game series, but it's just going to get